streaming page. It's so much easier now. So before, because before you'd have to enable it that it was like a preview. And it was like, oh, you have to make sure the preview is going, and then every single time you had to refresh the page. It was so annoying. Now it's just click a button, you're good. There are a few tracks as iconic in American motorsports as Watkins Glen, New York, which is laid host to F1, IndyCar, NASCAR, and IMSA. If it's anything motorsports related, you can almost certainly bet that it's raced here, at least in American motorsports. But here we are tonight for the Fuel Mission 22 Cup Series for the third round of their 5-race playoff, and I'm here with Connor Horn tonight. And I think we're going to be in for a hell of a race here. I've heard it's very slick on the track, and from the looks of it in practice, it definitely is. So it's going to be a very entertaining race tonight for 52 laps.
On their warm-up laps, they're not even pushing it at all. They're going like 50 miles per hour on their warm-up laps. So that should just show you how careful these drivers are going to have to be to not make any mistakes tonight. And especially for the Fuel Finals drivers, no mistakes. Mistakes are not an option tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely mistakes are not an option tonight, as we also are, again, like I said, third round of the playoffs, and we're doing that elimination. We're running an elimination format as we look at some drivers on the track. Thomas Bressi finishing his lap, Liam Sheen out for his. As we look at Liam Sheen start his qualifying effort, has a little bit of lag. Let's take a look at your point standings. So only 8 drivers remain after last week, and it was, oops, closed everything on my end. Apologies for that.
Oh, we closed everything. That's the race. All right, good night, guys.
Yeah, good. Sorry, dealing with YouTube. But yeah, so I'm really interested in seeing how the format's going to play out tonight, considering we eliminated 2 drivers last week. See Timothy Johnson and Casey Lacatus, and Timothy Johnson, man, cannot catch a break. Liam Machine's actually having a lot of internet issues. Go to Zach Buchanan. But yeah, so after some issues for Timothy Johnson, he's going to be eliminated. Colin Fambrough and Shane Ewing barely making it on. And you can see there, those are the guys on the bubble. The top 6 are going to be the drivers safe on to the next round. See Zach Buchanan go for a wild ride through the grass. Not sure if he's going to be able to put a lap time in. He's going to get back out there. He's going to have a chance for one more lap.
Yeah, he probably won't get a good lap down because the tires will be all messed up. But yeah, looking at the point standings, it's pretty lopsided between 4 and 4, just kind of like it was in real life when they got cut down to 8 in the Monster Energy Cup Series. You have the top 4, Debaro, Martinez, Ward, and Bressi, pretty far ahead of the rest of the pack. You got Cohen, who's about 33 points behind Thomas Bressi for 4th in the standings. Him, Hayden Pastorius, Fambrough, and Ewing all pretty far back to race amongst themselves. So unless one of the top 4 wreck, I really don't see them having any problems. It's the bottom 4 right now who are going to have to perform and show up tonight.
And Zach Buchanan getting up to speed here. Only half the field has put a time down. Nate Stewart in the 13 is out. I believe he's getting ready to start his lap. Same thing with Debaro as he comes across the line. So it's going to be very close at the end of qualifying as these guys come within 10 seconds of the line. Here's Alec Martinez, too, hasn't put a time down.
Yeah, Alex, always one you're looking to beat the boys like Debaro and Cohen. He almost got it done last week at Charlotte.
Oh, he's going to be too short.
Tried his best, at least. But, you know, he tried his best last week. Almost got it done with a questionable corner cut. But, he probably needed a corner cut or 2 on this qualifying lap. It's only going to put him P4, which isn't bad, but it's definitely probably not what he wants.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, so he was actually out there already putting his time down. So 4th place for Martinez is going to be good. Nate Stewart in the 13, though, trying to haul and put his time down. Same thing with Zach Buchanan. You can see them both in the similar part of the track. Shane Ewing further up the road. But you
Shane
notice...
Ewing. Oh, he almost went off.
Yeah. Looking at Nate Stewart's car, I'm not sure if Connor, if you could see this or not, but he's got a special paint scheme on it. Mitchell Walker also has a matching paint scheme. This is for the This is in honor of the Ford versus Ferrari movie that's out in theaters now, imitating the
It's a beauty.
1966 24 Hours of Le Mans cars for Ford that they ran there and won there
Gotta
with.
send that car to Darlington.
Yeah, I know that would be
Get it.
been awesome there. They're gonna have to do it unfortunately for next season, but barely across the line with 4 seconds to spare. Nate Stewart's gonna get there in time and showed us Zach Buchanan. Man, that was really close, and Buchanan gonna end up in fourth
With
after that
fourth.
qualifying effort.
Talk about clutch. There he goes,
Yeah.
up to the fourth. Someone who wasn't clutch, Colin Fambrough. We said he needs a good run really, and he's only qualified 16th, so he's got some work to do through this pack. He's got to watch out for that lap one crash.
Indeed. And while we wait for these guys to get gridded up, let's take a look at a track map of Watkins Glen. Starting at the front straightaway here, fairly short, especially considering the rest of the straightaways on this track, but nonetheless is going to be a long run down into turn one. And turn one, a very big passing opportunity, especially for this newer package. Guys are going to take advantage of every single corner that they can take advantage of. And you can see downhill also into turn one, very difficult braking zone.
Very difficult, and it's going to be hard for people to judge on this very first lap of the race. People they might not have been practicing in packs like around people during the practice session. It seems like you're always prone for a turn one, lap one crash here at Watkins Glen. So if that happens, you better hope you're either ahead of it or you can slow down in time to avoid it. Because if you're in this crash, you're.
Connor, you right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I thought you cut out on you. But then up and through the S's you go, down the back straightaway into the inner loop, and into the bus stop you go. So that's going to be a big corner, and I'm not sure necessarily a passing opportunity, but a difficult corner nonetheless. And then finally through the carousel, and then he set up a run for that back straightaway. And just how important is setting up that run?
It's especially important. You just got to get through the carousel as quickly as possible. You got to make the perfect line. You don't want to go all the way across the curb through the carousel. You kind of want to get a wide arc during the middle of the carousel so you can be able to gas it up out of the carousel full throttle. So you get the run, get the draft in the second to last turn. You can make that move inside or outside, really. I like making a move on the outside. They always protect the inside, so as long as you can hang it around the outside, you should be golden for being able to get the pass done before the start-finish line. I look for that to be a winning move, possibly.
Yeah, indeed. And then heading through the final few corners and then back to the front straightaway, and that will complete a lap at Watkins Glen here, and getting ready to do that for 52 times. Here as the fuel is getting ready and underway and pacing. And while they're pacing, let's go through your starting lineup. Riley Thompson in the 58. Great qualifying effort for him. He'll be starting on the front row alongside Thomas Bressi in the 24 and second.
Yeah, Thompson needed that. He missed the chase, and he's looking to make the most of it from the rest of this season. Alec Martinez up there in 5th, Mitchell Welker in 6th, Nate Stewart's going to be in 7th, I believe. McQuiston 8th. He had a good run at Indy about 2 weeks ago, and then Liam Sheen and Hayden Pastorius round out your top.
Yeah, top 10 drivers there too, and so really interesting. Got a few guys in the front: Mitchell Welker and Zach Buchanan. Pretty much the road ringers for this series come out here mostly on the road courses. Although Buchanan's made and even Welker too has made quite a few starts in oval, but this is kind of their bread and butter. So I expect them to do pretty well. There's Nick Cohen in 21 car is going to be starting back in 11th. Pretty far down for the 21 of Cohen compared to where he's been starting most races this season. Outside of him, Tyler Hensley in 12th.
Yep, yeah, Hensley in 12th, and then surprising to me, Anthony Debaro down in 13th place, so he's got work to do alongside Casey Licata. Sam Crow out there in the 0 and 15th, and the last qualifier, who, like I said, he needs a good run. It didn't start out well. Colin Fambrough down there, P6.
Yeah, Fambrough again, he's been getting by, scraping by every week into the next round of the points. He's going to have to do that yet again. Allows a little bit more leeway. He's not dead last today. He's got a little bit of leeway back to dead last, but still has got to make up a spot before the race is over. But coming onto the back straightaway here, getting ready for 52 laps here at the Glen with over 25 cars on the grid.
Definitely going to be a wild one. Everyone's going to have to really baby their way into turn one. You really don't. If someone gets into the back of someone, they're around, then someone gets into them, and it could cause total chaos. And if it spills over into the entrance to the S's, when we got a real problem, we'll definitely have to go yell.
Yeah, It could be a big trouble spot where drivers can make a bunch of mistakes. We'll see how they handle it out of the final turn. They come in immediately on the gas. Green flag out here at Watkins Glen.
That was a big jump. He left Thomas Bressi completely in the dust, and it's going to allow Jeff Ward
big
to
block
go
in the
for him.
background.
Yeah, he went. I don't know who that was, but
Cohen.
It's an early 3-wide move right there for Cohen. It bottlenecked everyone up there. Meanwhile, someone went wide out of turn 1, but meanwhile, unbelievably, Riley Thompson's gone.
Yeah, he got a clean start. Wasn't side by side with anyone. Is going to be leading everyone down to the back straightaway for the first time. First few cars single filed out, but it's absolute chaos in the background. Zach Buchanan having a look on a driver, couldn't get the move done. I see Liam Sheen all the way out in the grass at the inside, potentially trying to make a move.
That's a hard one to do. Pastorius just got left on the outside. The wrong lane going into the bus stop. He barely fends off Nick Cohen. Absolute chaos to start, but it seems like mainly everyone's gotten through. It looks like Anthony Debaro is already making his spots up. Almost got into the 44 of Hens.
Yeah, they're trying to move up the order, and meanwhile, Zach Buchanan trying to hold off Alec Martinez, but further on back into the braking zone they go. McQuistion and Pastorius side by side for a spot. Kohan 11th and Debaro. Oh, there he is. He just popped back in. He's currently running 11th as he gets around Hensley.
Yeah, Hensley wasn't giving him any inches, but he's free to go. Get away from the 44 now. Liam Sheen's trying to close it on the 44 as well, and just like that, it's single filed out throughout most of the pack.
Yeah,
Riley Thompson's gone.
And not too surprisingly, a little bit harder than it used to be in the past to follow drivers, so passing is going to be hard to do. Not completely impossible, but definitely going to be a bit of a challenge. And actually, speaking of which, Mitchell Welker and Nate Stewart getting side by side, it looks like on the back straightaway, but looks like they'll get it sorted out single file.
I see a lot more dive bombs with this package because of how difficult it just with this package. It doesn't matter really where you go, it's just going to be more difficult to pass. So I think everyone wants to single file out for the beginning of this race, see what they got, and then when they're ready they can go for those bold moves.
Yeah, I think this is really going to be a rhythm race for a lot of drivers. It's just getting into a groove, getting into a rhythm, settling down, and just getting your head down and putting some good laps, especially guys in the front here like Thomas Bressi and Jeff Ward trying to taste down Riley Thompson up in the front. He's going to be a hard man to beat him. Thompson, man, dude has been on a roll in both the Cup Series and the IndyCar Series. After winning at Montreal just a few weeks ago, he's looking like he could win another race here tonight.
He's definitely flexing his muscles early with that big jump on the initial start. He left Bressi and everyone else in the dust there, and it seems like he's not slowing down. He's opening up, right now, I know it's only been 2 laps, but a 10th a lap gap on Bressi. Those two are pretty far in front of Jeff Ward as well. It's evenly spaced out throughout the field, man.
Hayden Pastorius in a bit of a sandwich with the 21 of Nick Cohen and the 27 of Anthony Debaro, and actually to the inside of Pastorius goes the 27 of Debaro, and he will get that spot. So Debaro now up into 10th place, Cohen up into 9th.
Debaro charging early here, but unlike Sonoma earlier in the season, he obviously isn't showing that dominance on this track right now. I don't know. We'll see. He might need a yellow, but it's going to definitely take some time to go for that 58th of a...
Well, I'd say we kind of doesn't look like we might get a yellow here. The 24 guys that started, all of them are running and all pretty spread out evenly. So chances of a yellow are going to be pretty slim to none, unless you got a really big wreck that warrants the admins to throw it.
Yeah, it's definitely looking unlikely right now. Everyone's going fine, single file, no one pushing the issue, except for maybe Alec. He's already glowing up the front rotors right there, so pretty orderly throughout the whole pack.
Yeah, we saw earlier too, Martinez is all over Zach Buchanan, who almost made a pass into the carousel, backed off, hasn't been able to get past since, and they've kind of separated out amongst themselves. But Zach Buchanan with a really good run with, you can see r/racetrack designs on the hood of that car. Definitely check that subreddit out if you can. Some great racetrack designs, ironically enough. Fictional tracks, do different configurations of tracks, so check them out if you can. And support Zach Buchanan as he's currently having a great run in 4th. I mean, got a solid shot at winning this race, needs the track position.
He's definitely got the track position for it. He just got to nail the pit strategy. At this point, that's what it's really going to come down to. If it keeps going orderly like this, really no battles throughout the whole pack, Yeah, I think there's really no one close. The closest, I think, are the two Ford Ferrari drivers.
Oh, in the
So, no, they
background, the
separated
44 of Tyler Hensley spins at the entrance of pit road. And I'm curious if he's just gonna, no, he's gonna try to get back out on the racetrack. And that's gonna cost him a lot of spots.
I don't believe he hit anything. It was just a self spin?
Yeah, no, it was just a self spin here, looking at the replay.
He hit the curb, and then he tried to gas it up. That's all that happened. He hit the curb, and then he tried to gas it up too early.
Yeah, the curb upsets the car, gassed it up, and around he went for a slow spin. Yeah, and like we were saying, fortunately for him, didn't hit anything. So should be able to get back going. Unfortunately, he's mired back all the way in 22nd. And we see how hard passing is to do here, so he's going to have a long night ahead of him.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a long, really long climb back up the order here, so it's unfortunate for that to happen. But lucky he didn't hit anything, so he'll be able to continue, and he might be able to get back through the field. He's going to have to pull some good strategy.
Coda DiCienzo having some trouble in the 43 car. Got a Richard Petty themed car.
A little bit of damage already. Looks like he wrecked in the, he sent it way too far in the bus stop.
Yeah, looks like he was I think actually got damage when he was just navigating, trying to get back on the track. Didn't technically hit anything.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting way to get damage.
Yeah, looking for the order, not a whole lot of action going on the track. Oh, actually, as I say that...
Weston getting charged.
Yeah, he's getting charged by both Kohan and Debaro, and both of them barely making up.
Yeah, I was watching McQuiston there. He was really all over the place out of the final turn, so he probably lost all that time, and he hasn't been able to gather it up yet. And Debaro picking up another couple of spots, as is by Nick Cohen as well.
Yeah, and remember these two at the top of the order, or near the top of the order. Actually, Cohen dropped down to 5th after missing a week, so he has a few points to make up, but should be more or less good if he continues his usual running. He's actually getting a fight from his teammate in the 93, so these guys fighting it out here, not just laying over for one another.
Oh, he got really loose there. Maybe not. Maybe tried to cross him over, but they're definitely not giving an inch because they know how hard the passing is, and they got a long way to go to get to the around the top 7. And the top 7 are really separated, but so are the top 3 really are separated. It's about 1.4 seconds back to Buchanan from Jeff Ward. So those top couple of guys are really starting to check out here.
Yeah, and only a few drivers have been able to really actually only a few drivers have been able to put down times below a minute 10. Pretty much most of our leaders have been able to do that, but the leaders have only been the ones able to do it consistently. As Robert takes a very funky line through the bus stop, misses a few corners there. And just looking back at our leaders here, this is kind of what the gap's looking like. No one really able to gain anything, and I think, like you said earlier, it's going to come down to pit stops. So, do you want to undercut or do you want to overcut here?
I think the overcut's the way to go, because I really don't think it's not really like an oval. I really don't think that pushing the tires as long as they can go, as McQuiston, he just put in the tire barrier a little bit. He's got a little bit of damage all of a sudden, and he almost cut off Hayden Pastorius. But yeah, like I was saying, I think you want to pit. You don't want to pit too early, obviously, but you need to make sure that, you got to make sure that you can't really get too bad on the tires. I mean, I don't think the overcut's really worth doing at a road course. It rarely works at the ovals as it is, so I really don't see you pushing it as far, unless you're in the back and you just really need to try something. But other than that, I don't think the overcut's the way to go.
Yeah, I took a chance to look back at what happened to McQuiston.
I'm watching him still. He saved it out of the second to last turn. He is really fighting this car. He's all over the place.
Yeah, this is a look at what happened here. Just the last lap, coming out of the second to last corner, gasses it up. Gets a little bit of tire. Actually didn't put any damage on the car, so he hit it that late.
He's really struggling here. He just keeps going off at almost every end of the track. Pastorius just got by him. He's all the way back to, I believe, 11th now.
Yeah, back in 11th place. So starting to struggle here. And only 9 laps in. We're barely a fifth of the way through this race. And yeah, you can see he just missed the last corner too. So he is really up. Whoa! I thought he was going to pit there for a second.
Man, that would have been a quick audible.
Yeah, really quick indeed, but hey, he's just struggling on these tires here, so I think he's just pushing too hard, and it might have to back off here just to kind of conserve it.
Yeah, he really is. He doesn't really have a reason to push. He's got Liam Sheen behind him, but then it's about 4 seconds back to Casey Lakatos in 13th. He's got room to just back it down. He's already let people by, so you might as well try to cool the tires down a little bit before they're completely burnt.
Just kind of looking up through the order here. Nate Stewart and Mitchell Welker there you can see in those two Ford GT paint schemes. Beautiful looking cars. They're running fairly well, 6th and 7th.
Yep, they're probably going to try to stay next to each other for most of the run. Really, nothing's happened. Your top 7 had stayed the same, but I guess we missed Alec Martinez passing Zach Buchanan at some point. But the top 7 have stayed in the top 7. I believe the biggest mover was probably Anthony Debaro. Actually, no, it might be Shane Ewing from 21st to 15th.
And Shane Ewing, again, going to pull up the points. Going to be referring to this a lot tonight. He needs to get on the loud pedal here and get past Hayden Pastorius. Actually, I don't even think he has. There's enough cars for him to pass, even if he gets by Hayden Pastorius. So,
we definitely missed something with the 93s in pit road, and he's got more damage.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good. We'll try to see if we can catch what happened to him with a little bit of a lull in the action.
Second to last turn, and he overcorrected. Yep, that'll do you in.
Here's another look at it here. It catches the curb, overcorrects it into the wall. And I think that might be a retirement for the 93.
Yeah, I believe that is the first one. Actually, no, I think 43 might have retired as well. Yes, he did. 43 called a night earlier than him. 93 got away with it once in that same turn, but he didn't get away with it twice. He overcorrected that time, and that will be him done.
Trying to see if I can find what happened between Martinez and Buchanan, but forget that, because up for the lead, starting to get pretty close as Bressi's caught back up to Riley Thompson. I think now he figures now's his time to go.
Oh, Riley Thompson only ran a 1:11.1. I don't know if he made a mistake or something, but Bressi's right there. I think he'd be figuring that you got to get by Thompson as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think he might be trying to get past him before they make their first pit stops. And he might just be trying to expand that gap. I think he feels his tires are better than the 58s. He could expand that gap. And again, it's really going to come down to tire strategy. This is playing out. I was going to say it earlier. It's playing a lot like the actual Cup race at Watkins Glen, which I was actually able to attend. My first NASCAR race ever that I attended this year.
Look at you showing off.
Yeah, I know.
And hope he doesn't end up like the 24 did in real life. That didn't go too well.
No, it didn't. Yeah, unfortunately, it was a great race. It was great to be there, but unfortunately, passing pretty tough which is what we're seeing here.
Yeah, right as he got close to Riley Thompson, that gap opens up yet a little bit more that lap. He's got room to try stuff with the lines and everything around Riley Thompson. He's got another second and a half back to Jeff Ward, and then it's almost 4 seconds back to Alec Martinez in 4th, so these top 3 are gone. I don't even think tire strategy can help Martinez and on back. I think it might already be down to these 3.
Just kind of looking at the gap visually there between Martinez and Jeff Ward. He's also expanded away from Buchanan, Welker, Stewart. All these guys have expanded out. Even Anthony Debaro kind of struggling. I thought he would have got to Nate Stewart by now, but just hasn't been able to get there.
Yeah, he got up to 8th place, and he's just kind of stalled there. I don't know. He might have worn out his tires getting by his teammates there. He does have a bit of front end damage.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Don't know where he got that from. Might have been his teammate.
Trying to go back to see it.
I know those two were pretty close together.
I think it was lap 1.
I'll let you check that out for me, because I'm too scared to pull away in case something happens. It does look like Calvin Flarski has pulled it into the pits here. I believe getting service. He's got some damage to his car. Unfortunately, not sure where he got that from. Still monitoring this lead battle under half a second between them, but no one really able to gain on each other between them.
Yeah, I think you were right. He got into the back of Nick Cohen on the very initial start when Cohen went 3 wide to the bottom. That's where he got the damage from. I wonder if that's affecting him at all. If it is, it's definitely for the worse. It can't be making him better. Riley Thompson's really hanging it out. out of that final turn in the S's. He's really hanging it out. He's hanging the whole car out, even through the bus stop. These drivers are really struggling for grip at this point.
Well, he's struggling a lot more than Bressi is, and Bressi made up a huge amount of time here as they come on through to the carousel. And you can see he's all over the 58.
Yeah, the problem is Bressi's trying to rotate the whole carousel right there, but Riley Thompson's just beating him out because of the wide arc he's taking, like I said before the race. That won't help. Thompson hitting the curbs like that will definitely slow him down. He'll give Bressi a chance. Yeah, who knows? Maybe Jeff Ford's just letting these guys race.
Yeah, if I'm Ward, I would just let these guys race out, hope that they make a mistake, or even just, if anything, wear out their tires here. Bressi, this is the best shot he's gotten here. He's going to have a little bit of a look down into turn one, doesn't think of it. Might be setting up for the S's.
Dove it in a bit too far. He almost dove it in too far. He almost hit Riley Thompson there. And speaking of Jeff Ford, he might be in the best position here. 2 seconds back, just kind of ride and let these guys go. He might be able to surprise him with an undercut and get the lead.
It could be. You never know what these drivers really have up their sleeve here. Everyone's on different strategies. Especially, again, you know, usually when the race is when it's hard to make passes in a race, it pretty much comes down to strategy and what you're able to pull out and bring to the table. Riley Thompson's been really struggling with his bus stop. Bressi on the other hand has been nailing it and gaining a lot of time.
Problem is Bressi just can't get out of the carousel as good as Riley Thompson is. He kind of matched him there, but he's going to have to get a little bit closer to the bumper to try to pull something off. Maybe get under him just as close as you can get in the carousel, but yeah, definitely a good battle so far. Just waiting for Bressi to take the peak. It might be in the turn one if he can keep it close.
Yeah, I think that's what he's just been trying to do, is build up these runs at the corner. As you see him leaving the back end hanging out. Just kind of looking at everyone's last lap, seeing who's gaining, seeing who's losing. And pretty equal up at the front. At least the top four. Zach Buchanan's starting to fall off a pace a little bit with his tires.
Yeah, Mitchell Welker and Nate Stewart are starting to catch him, as well as Debaro, but yeah, Debaro just can't make anything down. No, Mitchell Welker's in the tire barrier out of one, so there goes that good run we were talking about there.
Gets into the 21 of Kohan.
That's going to be bad damage on the right front fender there. That's going to hurt him real bad.
Yeah, I think
that's unfortunate.
Welker was trying to let him on by, but let's first take a look at what happened with Welker.
He gave him the lane. Yeah. Cohen just ran into him there.
Yeah, so here looking at Mitchell Welker coming out of turn one, gets on the curve, accelerates into the wall. He goes a little bit of a bump, not too terrible. And so he sees Nick Cohen, he pulls over to the right, and Cohen just nails him in the left rear, and that's going to hurt the 21 more than the 76.
Yeah, 76 kind of got lucky with the the damage from the tire barrier, but I guess Nick Cohen tried to finish him off. It didn't work there. Meanwhile, Bressi's trying everything he can. He's getting so close to Riley Thompson, but he can't make the move work. I think it's really going to come down to beating him on the pit road.
Yeah, this is a matter of just waiting it out at this point. Can't really do much, and I think he now knows how Martin Truex Jr. feels when he was trying to pass Chase Elliott for this year's race. Was just stuck behind him.
Which year?
This year, because he was stuck behind him pretty much the whole race this year.
2 years in a row, that 9 cars plagued him.
Yeah. Next year I think he's going to try to make it 3 in a row. But yeah, just could not get past for first place, and starting to see a similar situation develop here. Thompson's been able to defend it, but I think Bressi just going to try to force him into a mistake.
He tried to get a good run through the carousel there, gas it up while rotating it, but that's the one thing that's saving Riley Thompson from Bressi taking a look right now. That great run he's getting off the carousel compared to Bressi. There's really not much Bressi can do. He can't match him because it'll just make the air worse.
Well, these two guys kind of sort themselves out here. Let's take a look back at Colin Fambrough. Again, one of those drivers looking to get himself into the next round. Has to do it this race. Doesn't have a choice. Currently running in 13th. Not the best of days, especially considering the guy he needs to beat. He's currently ahead of him. Pastorius is currently running in 10th. So this might be the end of that run for the 5 car. Unless something bad happens to Hayden Pastorius.
He's definitely going to need the stroke of luck that he and Lakatos, or whatever happened at Indy, that whole fiasco with Lakatos walling it. He might need something like that, because 10th, 13th, it doesn't seem like that big of a gap, but when you look up and it's about 13 to 14 seconds of a gap, I mean, that's almost insurmountable already at this stage in the race. He's going to need Pastorius to have a big problem.
And Currently fighting with Sam Crow here. Not a whole lot has changed. Casey Lakatos just up ahead of him, and then from Lakatos to Liam Sheen, it's a 10-second gap. So a lot of drivers spread out here at the moment, and a lot of drivers in no man's land. Guys are getting close to each other. Nate Stewart and Anthony Debaro. And they got really close coming out of the carousel.
I gotta assume Debaro's kind of upset right now. Not with the drivers he's racing, really, but just with the run he's having. 7th might not seem bad. For the guy who's won the majority of the races this season, he's definitely trying to fuel his anger into faster times. It's not working there. He lost a lot of time out of the final turn.
Yeah, and you know, again, considering the season he's been having, this would probably be disappointing, because this is honestly one of his poor finishes, considering he's won 4 races.
Hey, I've been there.
Yeah. So, yeah, stat-wise, it definitely looks like that, although he's been running phenomenal this season so far. And at 7th is nothing too bad, especially, again, considering he's got a huge points lead.
Phenomenal runs. Bressi had one down into a bus stop, but he couldn't really carry it all the way through. I think he's starting to fade a little bit. I think he had his run. He can't really do much right now. He's starting to fade just a little bit each and every lap going into a bus stop. Well, he was almost having looks into that carousel. He's really not coming close enough at the moment. And gotta assume they're coming close on fuel. Who's gonna be the first to bite on new tires?
Yeah, I really am curious who's gonna be the first to bite. One biting for position is Debaro, as he's trying to get side by side with the 13. Gonna look to the outside down into turn 6. Oh, they make some contact.
Oh, contact. That was really risky. Debaro made it work. That was close.
Oh, gasses it up too early.
Debaro.
Almost gets into the tire wall. Still not done yet. He's gonna go way wide out of the final turn.
13's
More contact on the corner. They're gonna wreck.
And the 13's around. That, you can see that coming. 13 didn't hit anything, but that's gonna cost him.
Yeah, no caution for that.
He's gonna pit. Get some fresh tires. Why not?
Yeah, might as well. You lost some time there. You're trying to get it looped around, so he's gonna make a pit stop, and we're gonna take a look at what happened there.
I thought Debaro went wide. 13 went even wider.
This is what happened. This all started down into turn 6. They made some contact entering. And then after that, Debaro just gets loose, goes left. The 13 sees a hole, throws it into the corner, and then runs into the 27 to make contact off the corner, and the 13 goes for a slide.
That could have been much worse. They're lucky. He's lucky Debaro just bounced them back out into the track. They could have gotten like jammed in the barrier, and their whole day could have been ruined. But luckily, Debaro's going to be able to continue, and that's how you get up to P6, I suppose.
Yeah, I was going to say, Debaro and Kohan have had an interesting run through the field. They've got into quite a few drivers, again, not entirely of their own. I want to point that out, not railing on them. But, yeah, so these two guys have had an interesting night, and still has a chance to get interesting even more. We're not halfway through the race yet. Still up in the front, it's Bressi chasing down Riley Thompson.
I see almost everyone struggling. I'm watching Alec Martinez. He's sliding it almost out of it. Every time at a turn 1, he's going wide. Zach Buchanan's been struggling a little bit. We've obviously seen what Debaro's been going through.
Oh,
the only ones who've really stayed strong are the top 2, and as I say that, Bressi kind of just misses the bus stop a little bit as they're coming up on, I believe, their first real lap car in Don Ronco Jr., he's definitely been through it. He's missing a hood.
Yeah, not entirely sure what happened to the 00 button. Lost his hood. The funny thing is he's lost the hood, but the front end of the car actually looks completely fine, so I'm not sure how on earth he managed to pull that off.
Must have been last lap. No, I think they just caught him because I think he just wrecked in the bus stop, actually.
Ah, okay.
Yes, he did. Out of the final leg of the bus stop, he just got loose and he went into that left side tire barrier, I believe. And he just came down the pit because of it.
Yeah, so coming up here in lap 21, halfway will be lap 26. And I imagine everyone's got that lap circle as their time to come in, maybe a lap earlier. But yeah, I think guys trying to extend it to a one-stop here. I feel like if it was going to be a two-stop, we would have seen some guys come in. Because, again, track pretty slick out here. Didn't bring this up earlier, but it started the race at 110 degrees, pretty much at around there. 111 at the moment, so pretty hot, pretty slick. And wearing out these guys' tires.
I don't know if we went over, but what was the fuel window again?
I don't know what it is exactly, but I imagine with the way they've been running, I think it's halfway. I would be surprised if they weren't able to make it to halfway.
I don't know. The way they're going, they can make it on one stop, but from what I remember, it was definitely not the one stop. But I guess we'll see here. Bressi's all the time Bressi had, all the chances he had are kind of gone now. He's about another second off of Riley Thompson now. You wonder maybe he tries to go for the pit, but it feels really that close. You can't really undercut if it's like on the brisk of making it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You know, they would have come in by now, but I've been wrong in the past. Could be wrong again. But so far, these guys continue to run out here in starting lap 22. And looking at the times, it looks like Alec Martinez and Jeff Ware catching back up to the leaders at about a 10th a lap. So slow pace, but going in the right direction for them. And Martinez kind of in no plan.
Yeah, Martinez just all over the place, but he's, like you said, he's making ground back up. Bressi, I think, wore up his stuff. He had his chances, could make them work. I think Riley Thompson's just waiting for pit stops. It's amazing how these guys are just drifting into the bus stop and making it work. It's just incredible.
Yeah, and you never know, too. One of those times you're going to throw it in there, not going to work, but it's been working out for the 24 so far. Don't see a reason for him to change. Whoa, gets a little bit loose in the carousel.
He's just struggling on the carousel. While the 58's been struggling in the bus stop a little bit, it seems like he's gotten a little better at it over the run. Thomas Bressi just can't figure out the carousel, and if he can't figure out the carousel, it's not going to be a good ending. He's not going to have a great run to the end for the win, because you really need to get good runs off that carousel to have chances in the final 2 turns.
Yeah, so these guys are catching up on a bit of lap traffic up the road. I believe is Jared Dixon in the 16, also a driver with the Ford GT scheme. Sorry, Jared, I didn't get to you. I didn't realize you were running it. I saw Nate and Mitchell with it in practice. Didn't miss you, so apologize to them. But running with the 16 car on his own, is currently running an 18th. About to go a lap down, and then a little bit further up the road is Chris Matthews. So curious if these guys are gonna potentially, you know, if I was one of them, I would pit before you hit the lap traffic.
Yeah, that would probably be the better choice, but like we said, it feels that close. Can you really afford to do it?
I was gonna say that. If you can afford to, definitely try it, but yeah, I wouldn't cut it closer than you really need to.
You gotta have, if you're good at saving fuel, I say go for it. If you can pop that clutch in whenever you want, you can try it. Looking back on a couple battles here, this is the biggest pack of cars I think I see. Got Case Licatis in 10th, just got loose there. Then you got a line of Fambrough, Derek Castor, Sam Crow, Nate Stewart. Hensley's there as well. So that's like the biggest pack of cars together right now. That would be your yellow if you were to get one.
Up here comes Nate Stewart on the outside of Crow. Crow gonna let him on by. And they're gonna sort themselves out for now. Back here. Yeah, so Licatis kind of leading this train. This is 10th.
Oh, Dixon just wrecked. I think that was out of turn 1. He just hit the guardrail pretty hard there. He's stuck in a bad position right now. He's stuck in a dangerous position that would be a yellow if he just keeps it there, which he is.
Yeah, so far it's going to remain green. I don't think they're going to throw the yellow because it's just one car sitting there.
Oh, Mitchell Welker's almost spinning as well. Those cars aren't doing well all of a sudden.
Yeah, you see Dixon actually was really close to almost coming back out of the track and hitting Riley Thompson. Was able to keep on the brakes, and it looks like he's just gonna escape out and retire. So that's gonna be unfortunate for the 16 of Jared Dixon.
The track's gonna start to cool down. You wonder if you want to pit now, as the track's pretty much under shade right now. It might be a good time to pit.
I'm looking at this pack here. Case Licatis just went way off the track. Here comes Nate Stewart with a run on the outside. They're going to be side by side to the S's.
I think Licatis, yeah, he's going to let him by. That was risky to do. Oh, he went too far. That guardrail.
He's hauling. He's booking it up through the S's, and that's a sketchy place to pass, as we were talking about. Definitely don't want to really be side by side through there, unless you're really confident you can get the pass. Oh, he's sideways in the bus stop, man.
He's hanging it out, but all that time he gained by doing it in the S's, he just lost. Licatis all over him again in that Sim TV Toyota Camry.
Yeah, Licatis trying to catch back up to him, but I think Stewart's the faster of the two, so I think we'll be able to keep that position. Moving on back to our leaders, you can see there that battle was about half a lap down to the leaders, so they should be able to catch them before the race's end.
Yeah, they might struggle getting around them if they stay in a pack like that. They'll definitely get risky.
That can make it really spicy for the lead, especially as these guys are close together again. Here comes Bressi on the back of Riley Thompson. Does he dare make a move?
He's not even close enough. I think the first person, like, notable that pit, I think Liam Sheen pit, because he scored a lap down right now, and I don't see any damage.
Yeah, Liam Sheen, Runkle, Wilco, and
Here comes
Dixon
Bressi.
half pit. Bressi,
There it
smart
is.
move for him. He's going to come in.
There it is.
Ward's also going to come in. I think Martinez is probably going to come in. No, Martinez is going to stay out. Sideways, though, off the final corner.
That's an interesting move by Martinez. I think Ward and Bressi just made a great decision. If they can nail their pit stops here, Bressi's probably going to jump Riley Thompson easy, I would think. Jeff Ward, he might have a chance at getting him into turn.
Trying to find where they are, and here they are in the pits. Second and third pit stall. Getting service to their machine. So now I'm curious if Thompson, I guess, for him, he's going to have to pretty much push to make up the difference here. These guys are running significantly slower. They're running a minute 13s. Their fastest laps are minute 9s, low minute 9s.
Yeah, with how many people are, with how all over the place everyone is, you think he's got to respond this lap. I saw Debaro he almost put it into the gravel out of the second to last turn. That let Nick Cohen get back by him again. Debaro's just really struggling. All the damage he has, I just don't think he has the speed in general anyway.
No, neither of those cars, both Cohen and Debaro, have, I think, the winning cars, and they're just way too far behind. But here we go. Leader into pit lane, and I imagine Alec Martinez probably going to do the same. No, he's going to stay out.
Talked about the overcut not really being the move, but I guess Alec thought he was far enough back he had to try something. He's going for the win. He's pretty safe in points, so why not? But
yeah.
I really don't think this is going to help him, but
no, I don't think
like I said.
I think the reverse would have helped him if he did a big undercut. I don't think the overcut's going to do much, unless you save your tires, which, looking at the way he's been driving, I don't think he will. Nick Cohen and Debaro also stay out, as Riley Thompson is getting service to his car. Meanwhile, Thomas Bressi coming down the front straightaway. He's definitely going to pass him.
Yeah, that's a big blow for Riley Thompson, because the tires aren't even going to be really new enough to do much about it. Bressi's going to open up maybe like a 2-second gap on him, and Jeff Ward jumped him as well.
Yeah, Ward got him in the pits.
They're lapping Hayden Pastorius. Actually, no, that's for position. That's going to hold up.
Oh, and his teammate.
Hold him up even more.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. They ran into his teammate at one of the worst possible moments. So Hayden Pastorius is going to get out of the way. That is for position, though, but Pastorius is still yet to make his next stop. Speaking of which, Alec Martinez, is he going to make him stop this time? But I'd be amazed if he doesn't.
I think he is. He's going really slow through the final turn, and here he comes in the pit road now.
Almost gets hit from Derek Castor going so slow to the final corner. Here comes Nick Cohen and Debaro. They have not been able to get away from each other all race.
Let's see. Cohen's going to come in. I assume Debaro's going to follow him.
Yep, and here they come in. I can't imagine you can really go much further than this on fuel, so not too surprising there. But change for the lead in pit lane. Bressi up on top. Jeff Ward and Riley Thompson. This could be big for Thomas Bressi. Man has not gotten a win in the Fuel Cup Series. This could be his night.
You never know. We know how Jeff Ward can race people sometimes, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. We never really saw Riley Thompson in traffic, so we'll see what he can do, but he's got a long ways to go considering where he's been most of the race. I believe it's a 2-second gap to Bressi, and he's got to get by Jeff Ward as well, who he might have almost flipped the guardrail. Ward did. Very close, but they got work to do. Bressi's got a pretty good gap.
Just kind of trying to figure out where everyone else is.
Alec almost wrecked an S's. That was extremely close to the left side guardrail. He almost wrecked it.
Guys, look back at what Martinez is. Whoa!
That was way close for comfort.
Neither was. Take another look at it. Onboard with the 54. Woohoo!
Those hands.
Let's take another look at it inside. Look at the hit. Oh, look at the wheel work on that. Amazing save.
Almost no one's better at it than him.
Martinez will live on to finish another race, at least for now. After almost ending it in the guardrail.
I don't think Bressi has a lot of short run speed. He obviously showed good speed on the long run, or maybe the mid to long run, but Jeff Ward gained a lot of time on him that last lap. I believe 4/10, and Riley Thompson wasn't too far behind. Jeff Ward, maybe he was saving that whole time, that first run, just biding his time. Looks like he's making a push now.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, right now, tires are fresh. If you want the lead, do it now. Don't wait for later. Because I think later the tires just wear out way too much to close the gap. You could try to save the tires, but Yeah, I honestly, I would just go for it now.
I think that's what he's doing. I think he's faster right now, but if is Bressi saving, who knows? I know he didn't have the short run speed earlier, so we'll see if he's just trying to conserve any short run speed he did have to get long run speed, as looks like it's going to be down to these three.
Yeah, definitely down to these three. It's there's a big gap back into fourth place. We'll take a look here, kind of just to give you an idea of how big the gap is. So here are your three leaders: Bressi, Ward, Riley, Thompson, your top three. And then I think out of the final corner now, there you see Zach Buchanan nearly, pretty much the entire front straightaway behind.
And you'll see the battle for fifth with Nate Stewart and Alec Martinez. Martinez is taking a look into turn one here. He should be able to get him pretty easily. Not too easy. He got fresher tires after all, but Nate Stewart's not going to let him go easy, as he's right there. He's going to go wide as the 92's coming out. That could have been hairy, but Martinez back up P5.
Yeah, and remember the 13 is Stewart coming in after contact with Kohan. Or Debaro, out of the final corner, so decided to make his pit stop early. I think he might have to come in for another stop.
It's definitely going to be close, that's for sure.
Oh,
considering
no,
everyone made it to halfway.
No, he's definitely, I don't think it's going to be close. He's, let's see, compared to Martinez.
Oh yeah, he did pit early.
Or compared to Bressi, he's, trying to do the math, can't get the number. He's 7 laps past, he has to go 7 more laps on a tank. I don't think that's enough.
Hey, keep it in fourth gear. Who knows?
Yeah, we're currently running in 6th.
To be fair, he has a 10-second gap back to Mitchell Welker for 7th, so he can try to save all he can, if it helps at all.
Yeah, and if he comes back in, that's a 40-second delta. He's looking to drop back to around 13. So it's, if he wants to come back in, it's kind of the strategy he's got to go in now. But yeah, Alec Martinez, Zach Buchanan, an 11-second gap up to the leaders. And Riley Thompson's starting to fall off to these guys.
Speaking of the leaders, if you look up ahead of Bressi, you got those couple of lap cars coming up, Sam Crow, Hensley, and Colin Fambrough. Then I doubt Fambrough is going to let him by easy, considering the position he's in, but we'll see. But good amount of lap cars could affect the race.
Yeah, could affect the race. This is not even the big pack that we were looking at earlier.
Wow, Ward gained a lot of ground there all of a sudden. He's almost back up to Bressi there. I don't know where he gained all that time.
Yeah, he's been really pushing the issue here. And just up the road with those lap cars there, you see Tyler Hensley trying to close in on the 5 of Colin Fambrough. He's going to have a look down into turn 1. Does he dive in on the brakes? Nope, just a look.
Just a little bit of intimidation, no problem. I don't think Fambrough really cares. He's probably just winging it at this point.
Yeah, I think
just hoping for a big one somewhere.
If anything, not a big one, just hoping that Pastorius has something bad happen to him. And even then, Fambrough would pretty much have to win the race almost, or finish inside the top 5 to take advantage of that. We only got 20 guys out there running, so he has to make up a pretty big deficit. But you see here, Hensley trying to make up some time on him, can't get it done. And here come the leaders.
Jeff Ward's really cutting that first leg of the bus stop there. He's really cutting it close. He almost hit the guardrail. He's giving it everything he's got right now. I think he wants to get as close as possible to Bressi when he catches the lap cars, because if it slows down Bressi just a little bit, he's going to be all over him.
Up the road, Hensley and Fambrough fighting. This is right in front of the leaders, so we'll see if they can even get clear, because this is going to hold them up a lot.
Yeah, I think if they stay side by side through the S's coming up here, it's going to be really bad. Sam Crow lets them by, but we'll see what these two do.
Well, Hensley's teammates with the 24 of Bressi, so it would be in his best interest to help his teammate out, especially help his teammate get his first win. We'll see how it plays out here. Teammates might be teammates on paper, not so much on the track. We definitely seen some discrepancy with that amongst different teams.
We see how Debaro and Cohen race each other sometimes. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows indeed.
Ward's got a great run here. He's going to be all over him in the bus stop.
Let's see, he's been taking big dives. There he goes. Big dive to the inside. No, only a look.
No way, yeah. Just a look. He knew he wasn't going to actually do it. Not at this point in the race, but he might get a good run through the bus stop because of it.
Whoa, gets a poor run out of the bus stop.
That was a good save. He didn't lose too much time, but it's definitely going to cost him.
Yeah, allows Thompson to close back in.
Yeah, these top three are just about even because of that. Meanwhile, Alec Martinez is really the only one trying to make stuff happen. He's got a long way to go to even get the Zach Buchanan, but he's catching him. Actually, last lap he didn't even catch him because I don't know when Buchanan pit.
He should catch him, I believe. Buchanan came in. Yeah, Buchanan came in before by 2 laps.
Here we go. Looks like Fambrough. See what Fambrough does. He's kind of coming over into Bressi's line a little bit. He'll brake early. Bressi will brake late. He'll be clear of Fambrough. And looks like he's not going to get out of the way before the...
No, and Ward just kind of hoping that he gets out of the way at some point.
That's not going to help. He's going for it. In the S's, he tried to go for it. He's not going to be able to make it work. And
let's see if he can get
that might be... Realistically, that might be all Bressi needs.
And that cost him quite a bit of time. Thompson late on the brakes, almost running into the 89.
Oh,
89 runs into Fambrough.
He put him out of the way. I can't blame him for doing that. That was unfortunate the way he caught Fambrough. He got it. He did it perfectly too. He didn't wreck Fambrough, just nudged him out of the way. But he's definitely gonna have to charge hard to get back to Bressi. It's already. It might be a second. It's close.
And it's Ward telling the lap car to get out of the way, just with a little bit of a nudge.
Usually you get 3 strikes to the bumper. He wasn't wasting time there. I can't.
No,
blame
he can't
him.
afford to waste time. You've seen the aero wash be a huge deal. And you can only imagine how much worse it is when you're in lap traffic, too. You really want guys to get out of the way. You can see 1.3 seconds the gap now after just working through a little bit of lap traffic.
And now the problem is he doesn't have a gap back to Riley Thompson. He's got Thompson all over him, so he's going to have to try his best to catch Bressi and fend off Riley Thompson.
Yeah, and we'll see here if Thompson can do anything now, if he's going to get a run down the back straightaway here. I don't think it's enough.
Yeah, spacing out again. They're coming up on Bressi's teammate, but they're also coming up on Casey Lakatos, and after Lakatos, it's another 10 seconds up the caster, so lap traffic will probably come into play, a couple more cars closer to the end, but if anything like that happens to the leader, we're in for a show.
Yeah, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Lakatos and Ward not on the best of terms, because Lakatos is annoyed that Ward was barking at him to get out of the way. And, you know, again,
I don't think anyone's on good terms with Ward, from what I'm hearing, so...
There's not a lot of people good on good terms with anyone, really, to be honest, especially for the top guys. Nature of competition, but yeah, though, you know, no mandatory blue flags in stock car racing. You don't have to yield over. That being said, from Ward, we saw not afraid to boot someone out of the way if they're not going to move over.
He's not afraid to charge hard either. I think he gained almost half a second on Bressi that lap, so he's definitely turning up the wicker if it was F1, but not like F1's interesting right now. Just saying.
We'll say though the Brazilian Grand Prix was actually really good.
Well, in a Grand Prix where McLaren gets a podium, I don't know what to think.
Yeah, and Toro also gets second.
Well, Gasly in general, and how you perform. But that's not what this is for. This is Watkins Glen, not Sao Paulo, Brazil, or wherever they are. They're not in Sao Paulo.
Interlagos, but coming up here for the leaders is on lap traffic, Hensley and Lakatos. Do they move out of the way?
Bressi's teammate might. Who knows what Lakatos will probably move out of the way. He might move out of the way for the 24, but he might not need to. Here goes Bressi's teammate getting out of the way. He's going to get out of the way of all 3 of them especially, so good move by him there, but maybe he should have held up the 89 as much as he could, because Ward is there, and he's back. And Bressi did not get a good run out of turn 1 there.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that he didn't fall right in behind in between the 24 and the 89. I guess there wasn't enough room to really slot himself in, so...
Oh, Ward has a run here. I don't think he's going to have a look, but he's got a good run to the S's going.
Seeing some guys make some big dives down into the bus stop. I don't think it'll be close enough for the 89 yet again.
I don't think it's late enough to do it. What, 15 laps to go? You got to bide your time. Let's see, Alec Martinez, he's almost up to Buchanan. He's only a second behind him now. He should be getting him in a couple laps time. Maybe this lap. He's really beating him in the bus stop there.
So top 3 all pretty close together. Not a whole lot of stuff going on the other parts of the track. Actually, I retract that statement. Here's Cohen and Welker almost side by side into the bus stop. They got some lap traffic to work through.
Yeah, Cohen all over the back bumper of a 76. In fact, he's into the back of the 76 for P7, and he's going to try to get a wide arc, a good exit out of the carousel here to get a great run. It's not going to be good enough, but He might be able to make a dive if he feels that it's needed.
So I'm taking interesting lines here. Remember, these guys got into each other at the 76 and the 21.
I'm sure they remember. I'm sure the 76 remembers more than the 21, but who knows what will happen here. Who knows who thought it was at fault. 92 is going to get out of her way.
And Cohen just trying to find a way around the 76. There he goes for a lunge. We saw him do something similar on the initial start. Gonna just squeeze to the inside. Almost makes some contact on the quarter panel.
He played nice with him here. If he does that next turn, he will. If he does that next lap, the same turn, I guarantee the 76 is going around.
These guys are playing with inches. They're not giving each other any breathing room at all.
Either of a top three separated by, I believe, less than a second right now. So it's getting really close between all those guys. Thompson on the bumper of Ward. Ward all over Bressi. It's going to be a great fight if this holds up.
Whoa, Ward sideways off the last corner
Maybe
in the grass.
Might be a fight for second.
I was going to say, does Thompson take advantage of it? There he goes. He's got to look. This is his best chance.
They both dove in really hard. Thompson went in harder. I think Jeff Ward. He's going to try to hold it around the outside.
Contact! And the 58 goes sideways.
The 58's around. And that's big damage to the back bumper. That's his race for the win done. That might be it for Ward even. He lost a lot of time to Bressi there.
Yeah, gap's expanded out to 2 seconds here with just 14 laps to go. You can see the major damage to the back of that 58 machine. Let's take a look at what happened.
They just both they both tried to gas it up out of turn 1, and it didn't work for either of them. Unfortunately, the 58 got the short end of a stick.
And here's the 58 to the inside. Looked like Ward was going to give him room. Didn't give him room in turn 1.
I thought he was going for the over-under. I thought he was going to try to cut under him into the S's, but that didn't work.
Let's take a look at it also from Ward's point of view here. Riley Thompson's to his right here. Ward go out just a little bit. And I think the 58 spun his tires and went into...
Oh, watching the other battle, Welker and Cohen. Cohen's about done. He just gave a shot to the 76 through the carousel, and looks like the 76 is trying to go protective line. Nope, he faked it. Cohen's stuck behind him right now. That's letting Debaro get back up there. Nate Stort's also, I believe, in the mix. Yeah, I think Cohen's out of patience.
Yeah, Nate Stewart is in the mix, but he's on older tires. I believe he's going to have to come in. He actually just comes in now. So it's just Welker versus Cohen and Debaro, and behind Welker going defensive down to turn 1. This is a tasty fight. Look at Cohen almost in the grass in the braking zone, using every inch of track.
And it worked out. Look at the run he got off of turn 1. You can't really get under him in the S's, but why would you really?
Yeah, look at how much time he loses to the S's being behind the 76.
Yeah, Debaro didn't lose that much time to the 21, however. I think the 21 might just be being careful up there. Because, I saw Alec Martinez, he caught up to the back of Zach Buchanan, but kind of the same thing with the arrow push, he cannot get by him.
Yeah, we saw these guys fighting it out earlier. Martinez able to get by. Order got shuffled around yet again, and now Buchanan has the tackle, holding off Martinez for 11 laps.
I don't see it happening, but I've seen weirder things happen.
There's a lot of action starting to go on in the later part of this race.
So Jeff Ward lost a lot of more time that lap. Let's see. I don't know what happened, but he lost another second. Now he's about 3 seconds back.
I'm not sure which battle to look at, honestly. It's both the battle for 4th and the battle for 6th.
Trying to see where Ward lost the time that lap. Oh, he had a bad turn 1. He entered turn 1 badly last lap.
Yeah, so he's just kind of falling off a bit here. He's going to have to do a lot to catch back up. Meanwhile, still battles heating up on the racetrack. Buchanan and Martinez still nose to tail through the bust on Martinez, trying to get a better line of the carousel, makes some contact, moves the 40 out of the way.
I can't say that was on purpose. The 40 was already loose before Martinez got into him, and 54 just finished him off. Martinez up to 4th.
And does the 40 retaliate or do anything? I don't think
he's not even close enough.
Yeah.
If you full throttle him, why not?
Yeah, I don't think
this isn't Forza.
I don't think he's gonna be that mad about it, but
he was already loose. He was already out of shape. I don't even think what Alec did really affected him too much, anyways. And all of a sudden, Alec could get the P3 here.
Let's take another look at that too. bounces off the nose of the 54 car. Oh, actually didn't. Yeah, he didn't hit the 40 at all. Interesting. Looked like he did.
Tell you what, that was a great save by Buchanan. He got really out of shape there.
Might have been a little bit of netcode if anything, but yeah, that was all the 40 there. Martinez did a fantastic job not getting into him.
Yeah, it was a great job on Martinez by just maintaining his line and getting around him. And let's see, speaking of bump and runs, Nick Cohen's in P6, Debaro 7th, and Welker's a couple seconds back in P8 now. So, and he ran a 1:23.9 last lap. So I think we missed something. Oh yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, we did indeed. Row.
Oh.
All right, here they come through the bus stop, entering the carousel. And Debaro has a look to the inside. Yeah. Oh.
Then Mitchell Welker hooks it back up to try to take one of them out. He tried. It was a good try, gotta note it.
Yeah, good try, but no cigar, fortunately.
I saw the admin put noted in the text chat, so I immediately looked back at that battle, and sure enough, Welker was 10 seconds back of him, and now he might fall back behind Hayden Pastorius.
That was not much defending you can do about that. Jeff Ward, his last hope is right in front of Bressi. He's got 2 lap cars, Derek Castor and Liam Sheen the past year. Liam Sheen lagging all over the place. Yeah, I think
who knows what'll happen with that.
Sheen might move over with his internet. I'm sure he doesn't want to necessarily be a factor. But we'll have to see here. And also, if Castor moves out of the way, so this is helping out Jeff Ward because he's able to try to reel down Bressi with 10 laps to go, coming back to 9 laps to go, and Castor does move out of the way.
Yeah, unless Jeff Ward has to drive his life, I don't know what much he can really do. I think he might have caught him a good amount there. He caught him by 7/10 there, but he's still 2 seconds back even with that. He's going to have to be absolutely perfect here on out.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, too, now Castor has got to get, or Ward has to get by Derek Castor now.
And he's also going to have to get by Liam Sheen and his internet at some point as well. That should be the last of the lap cars. Pastorius is in.
That got really dangerous there.
That's one point to get out of the way. It's an interesting place to get out of the way, and he pretty much missed the bus stop because of that.
Yeah, miscommunication from both drivers. I think Bressi thought he was going to stay right, or he's going to stay left, and then last second change right, almost made contact, but they're able to avoid each other.
Oh, Jeff Ward.
He's trying to push it.
He's doing everything he can, but he's just hurting himself more and more.
And the problem is, pushing this hard, once you catch up to the 24, you got nothing for him.
Yeah, meanwhile, the 24, he's been in the lead this whole run, so he's been able to... held up. Yeah, the 48 held him up bad there. But yeah, the 24 is going to have all the tires in the world to hold the 89 back, even if he got there. The only thing I think that can save Jeff Ward now is a mistake, because the next lap car is about 20 seconds or so up the road, and that's Hayden Pastorius, so... Things are looking dire for Ward, and... Things are also looking pretty bad for the 5 of Fambrough, and things are looking good for Pastorius.
Yeah, and again, going back to the points...
he's all over the place.
Yeah, Fambrough has not had the best of runs. A decent run in 14th, nothing to brag about, though. Needed a lot more, and needed something bad to happen to Pastorius. Well, Pastorius is running in 9th place in the 19 car, and as you were saying, is close to going a lap down.
He'll be close, but I believe he'll be able to stay in front of him.
Yeah, there's actually one other car
to go lap down.
It's
Nate Stewart. I thought he was ahead of Nate Stewart. I thought he was behind him, but I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah, well, Nate Stewart does have some fresher tires, so I think he might actually be able to stay away from Bressi, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, looking like it's going to be Pastorius and Cohen are safe. And now that Cohen, Cohen was a bit close, but I think just really starting the race was able to give himself good enough advantage.
Just cut to Mitchell Welker, casually drifting up the end of the S's. I'm sure he's driving mad.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be a happy camper. You race a guy, race him hard, but race him clean. And then, unfortunately, they made some contact, so not sure Welker's going to be the happiest driver in the world, especially after the race. But see if this carries over, because Welker is a regular. He shows up here and there. You never know. Could come back to bite one of those guys.
I was about to say Alec might be able to get close to Riley Thompson for third, but Fambrough's holding him up pretty good right now, so probably get rid of all chances of that happening. I think the closest battle on the lead lap right now is Nick Cohen and Debaro, and who knows how hard they'll race each other.
Yeah, for the most part, it doesn't look like they've really been racing each other that hard, at least from my point of view. But here, see if Debaro can get back up there. If anything, I think these guys just don't make sure they don't wreck.
If Cohen, at that point, that's all you can really do.
Yeah, and if Cohen does wreck, that could be big. He is in danger then of potentially missing it.
I think I lied. I think the closer battle with other than Cohen Debaro, Mitchell Welker's back to Pastorius now, pretty close. Or were they? Yeah, they're second. Decently close, about a second. Meanwhile, Jeff Ford continues to kind of just lose time there. I think that last lap he was actually pretty even with Bressi, but just not good enough.
Yeah, and looking at Pastorius, he's reeling in Welker at a really fast pace. Pastorius last lap through minute 12.3, Welker at 13.7. So, decent disparity in pace. He's catching up to Welker. Should be able to get that 8th spot. Not that he needs it. I think also it'd be big too. I think if I'm Pastorius, just don't even bother pushing. Pass him if you can. Don't force the issue though, because you're going to be making it into the next round.
Yeah, he should be getting it. He should be able to pass him relatively easily, but with how hyped up Welker is on Rage, I don't know if you really do want to push the issue. I think you're right on that. Welker's just kind of all over the place anyways, weaving back and forth.
Yep, not a whole lot of action going on at the track. Derek Castor and Tyler Henson are near each other, but nothing really too crazy there. Well, gap for the lead, 3 seconds. Ward, I think he's kind of given up a little bit, or I shouldn't say given up, but has toned the pace back down. I think he's more focused on finishing because again, 3 seconds, a lot to make up in 5 laps.
Yeah, it might not even matter if Pastorius passes Mitchell Welker, because Nate Stort's on the fresh tires, and he is all over them all of a sudden. He was 3 seconds back at the line last lap, and now he's cut it down to a second out of the carousel. So
yeah, this is going to get dicey. We're not going to take the camera off of this. Driver damage up in front, decent driver in the middle with decent pace, and then it's got a driver with fresh tires in behind. This can go bad really quickly.
Yeah, it could, but if I was 19, I'd let the 13 by. And you can let him wreck the 76, maybe.
And there goes Nate Stewart with a pass on Pastorius. We're having a look down into turn 1.
You'll have him here. Yeah. Oh, I think Hayden thought he was going to be clear.
And Stewart gets the pass done. Now in behind Mitchell Welker.
Just got to follow him through now. But he's not even close enough to really try to follow him through. He lost a lot of time up the S's. Speaking of losing a lot of time, I know it's pretty dire right now. Jeff Ward gained 0.6, I believe, on Bressi there, so he's back, I believe, 2.4 seconds back.
Yeah, not sure how he gained that much time. And Bressi just made a mistake.
1:11.6, Bressi 12.2. Just a cleaner lap, but he needed every lap to be like that, and that hasn't happened.
No, yeah, he's really running out of time. He's going to have to hope Bressi makes a huge error. Goes off the track, but until that happens, Bressi running a decent pace to keep himself in the lead.
Another guy who's gaining time, Alec Martinez gained a whole second on Riley Thompson, so that might be close at the end as well. But nothing closer than the battle between the 76 and 19, as Nate Stort's checked out from those guys.
Yeah, Stewart just with the fresh tires pulling away from them at a really quick pace. He's got 16 seconds to the next car, which is Anthony Debaro, so I don't think we'll be quite catching him.
I think that's as good as Stewart's gonna get. I don't know how many. He really didn't. After what happened to him, he's gonna salvage a good finish out of it. He's still gonna get P8, so you got to be happy with it. But who do you think's gonna be more unhappy? The 76, the 27, or the 58?
I think it's 76 probably. 58, Thompson. I don't know about that. That one seemed to be more of just kind of a racing incident. I don't think there's any malicious intent. If anything, it's on kind of the 58 of Thompson because he did get loose and spin into the into the Atlanta board.
But you know, I'm sure he wanted a good run. It's kind of his race that he probably marked on the calendar for the season. He's He probably won't be happy. He might not be unhappy at the 89. He might be unhappy with himself, but regardless, he'll probably look back at one that got away, especially on the pit strategy. He kind of just let it go.
And meanwhile, though, for Bressi, it's been a long time coming for him. He's got 2 laps to go to get to the finish line. And he's got a pretty decent lead at 2.3 seconds back to Jeff Ward. And again, this is a long time coming for the 24. He's been close so many times. Don't think I can emphasize how many times he's been so close just to have it robbed away from him at the last second or something or the other happens. But he's got a lead now, and unless something absolutely tragic, and I feel like as I'm about to say something bad's going to happen, so I'm actually going to stop my little speech here, at least until we get to the white flag.
And make it interesting.
Yeah, well, I hope for his sake nothing bad happens, because again, I just can't stress enough, he's had the pace, just hasn't had the win in that column, and a lap and a half to be able to change that.
They can allow Jeff Ford to cut this bus stop, and we might have a race. He's cutting everything anyways. Like, he's trying everything he can, but
well, he's got a 10-second. He's got a 10-second gap back to Riley Thompson because he might have tried something.
Might as well. I mean, see how far ahead you can get of him.
Yeah, not like he really is that close on points. He's got a decent gap. But for Thomas Bressi here coming through the final 2 corners, you see that flagman with the white flag in the air. And this race is definitely going to finish here. No caution is going to end his parade early. There he comes down the straightaway. White flag in the air for Thomas Bressi. One more lap.
He's pretty much ran the perfect race. He kept his nose clean, didn't do anything overly aggressive the first run when he was stuck behind the 58 of Thompson, and he played the strategy perfectly. We're talking about the undercut could be the key to winning, and he did it perfectly. Got him in just the 1 lap earlier, but that's all the difference it needed.
Looking at Debaro and Cohen, they're starting to go at it amongst each other. This is for 6th place here. We'll keep an eye on this. Go back up to Thomas.
Cohen needs the points, so maybe Debaro's probably going to try hard to not give him those points, I suppose.
I don't know. Well, Cohen's safe for now. But they're going to fight it out here. I'll watch them going to turn 1 here.
Protective line. Debaro's going to do the over-under if he can. Doesn't have the run for it.
No, he doesn't.
Cohen's protecting, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's racing hard amongst each other.
Pop the curbs a couple times.
But that's
I think Debaro can get him here.
Yeah, well, meanwhile, going back to the 24 with Thomas Bressi, long time coming. Finally, out of the final corner, Bressi will have a win next to his name in the Fuel Cup Series. Checkered flag and a win for the 24.
And that's got to be big for him at this stage in the season right now to get some momentum coming into the final 2 races. He's definitely going to try to carry that into the last couple of races, as the 89 is going to be able to finish up P2, excuse me. Riley Thompson's going to be the one who's going to come away with a probably disappointing P3. Alec Martinez, P4 job.
Oh, meanwhile, Debaro and Cohen dooring each other in the second to last corner. Here come to the final corner. Who's going to make it back to the line first?
I think the Cohen's going to have he's going to be able to gas it up. Yeah, Cohen's going to
get
it.
Throws a block, and it's going to be Cohen followed by Debaro for 6th and 7th place.
It's a long way back to 8th place. Nate Stewart, he obviously couldn't catch them, but after the struggles he had, he's going to come away for a P8. And I believe Mitchell Welker and Pastorius, they might be still having their battle, but Welker's going to come out on top P9, hit Pastorius P10, and that will round out all your cars on the lead lap.
Yep, and those are, like as you said it, all of our lead lap finishers in the top 10. But for Thomas Bressi making it back across the line, again, how about this for Bressi? I can say it. I can keep saying it all night long. It's been such a long time coming. I can't imagine how happy he's going to be to finally get it done. Casey Licata is coming up to give a little bit of a congratulatory bump to the 24.
You know, the back end of his car was clean until that.
Yeah, that's you said it earlier too. Brian, pretty much a perfect race. I don't think made a single mistake or error. I think maybe messed up the bus stop 1 or 2 times, but
he wasn't strong in the carousel especially. But other than that, he ran a perfect race. He kept the tires clean. He really didn't wear overly, he didn't wear them out too much. And obviously he had the perfect pit strategy, and he was able to complete the job.
There he is doing burnouts on the front straightaway for the fans of New York. Bressi, your race winner.
You got Nate Stewart, Mitchell Welker pacing around side by side together like Jeff and Tony at Indy. And Bressi, looks like he's trying to put it in the wall, but he's unsuccessful.
As you said, the car could use damage compared to some of the other guys, but yeah, got that car perfectly clean up until just after the checkered flag.
He's trying to do his burnouts. Not a lot of room to do it. I understand. You got the whole turn one to do
I
it.
was gonna say typically you're supposed to do it in turn one, but
I thought he stopped in the final turn. I thought he was about to do it there.
Walker and Nate Stewart doing their little salute, but Bressi at the start finish line. So looks like he's gonna be done with that for now. Oh yeah, he is done. All right. So on that note, I'm gonna cut to commercial here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here with the race winner, a few others. Don't go anywhere. All right, and we're back here with your fifth place finisher, Zach Buchanan. And Zach, you had a pretty interesting run for that race. A very good run. You were pretty much inside the top five, top six all night long. Kind of walk us through how this race went for you.
Yeah, it didn't go 100% how I wanted it to. I was a little worse on the tires than I hoped, and I had to do a tiny bit of fuel saving in my last run because I short pit. But I won't complain. With how my season's been going, I'll take any top five I can get, and I'm pretty proud of my result considering I was within 30 seconds of Thomas, who drove a great race. So I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, and so you had an interesting battle there too with Alec Martinez. You're pretty much fighting with him all race for that fourth place spot. How was your battle along with him? Did it get we saw it get a little bit hairy at times. Did you guys end up making contact that we didn't catch on camera?
There was really only that one time. He was quicker than me, so I was trying to be a little wide so I can see if I can make something work in the long run because I know he was better on the tires than me, and there's no harm in trying to force a bit of tire wear onto your opponent. But yeah, it was pretty clean, respectful. It was just that one moment where I got a little loose and he couldn't really catch it before he got into the back of me, but all was good in the end.
All right. Well, that was your fifth place finisher, Zach Buchanan. Zach, you wanted to plug a few words in?
Yeah. So this was the Racetrack Designs 200 here at Watkins Glen. Racetrack Designs is a subreddit we have where people design, create, and show off racetracks they design, completely fictional ones. It's a lot of fun, and we've had a competition going on for the past week. So yeah, if that interests anyone watching, check it out. It's a lot of fun and lots of cool people there.
All right. That was Zach Buchanan. Zach, thanks for talking to us, and we'll see you next time.
All right, thank you.
All right, moving on. We'll move on to, let's see, who do we got here?
Don't touch Alec. Keep him there.
Yeah, oh, we
know his answers.
Let's talk to Mitchell. Hey, Mitchell. You had a. I said Zach had an interesting race. I think you probably had a little bit more of an interesting race, dealing or fighting with Debaro and Cohen. So, kind of walk us through what happened there. There was a few times where you guys made some contact.
Yeah, after the first pit stop, I pit earlier, so I got the undercut by at least 5 seconds or so. Eventually, though, on his fresher tires, and he was just overall quicker, I think he caught up to me, and then I defended best I could. It was a lot of fun. We were both clean for a little while, and then he started bumping me, and it started making me a little nervous, and then ultimately into the carousel, as you probably saw, just a low percentage move. He did apologize to me after the race, but yeah, I guess it just happens. I can't do a whole lot about that.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for that happened. You seem to have some pretty decent pace. Do you think you had enough to win this race, or do you think that you're pretty much fighting amongst the top five?
Absolutely not. I was maybe a fifth or sixth place car if I had strung it all together perfect.
So, can we expect to see you at the last two races of the season? One of the two, or?
Depends where they are. I forget where they are. Do you know where they are?
ISM and Homestead.
All right, I will for sure be at ISM. I don't know about Homestead, though.
All right, well, we'll see you then in 2 weeks' time.
See you then.
All right, moving on to our second place finisher, Jeff Ward. Came home in second place after trying to fight for the lead for pretty much the entire race. You're into the top three all day long. Just kind of walk us through how what you're able to do from the car. We saw that passing was really hard to do.
Yeah, it was when you got up behind somebody there, it was kind of hard to see the braking zones. When I got up behind Thomas, congrats to him, by the way, for the win. He drove a great race, but I'd get up behind him and I couldn't quite see where I was supposed to get on the brakes there. So I'm not a road course expert. I was kind of went out there and wheeled it the best I could, but we had a chance to win there. There was a move. Riley made a pretty aggressive move down into one. I gave him plenty of room, and I guess he kind of wiggled and come up the track. I have to look at the replay, but it just turned him, and I feel bad about that. Riley had a great car and probably could have got there and ran down Thomas, but I didn't want to just pull over for him. I want to give it a try. So, yeah, good night for us. We'll take second at a road course, and it's good points tonight.
Yeah, do you think, looking back at the race, do you think there's something better you could have done strategy? Again, so it was hard to actually do something on the track. So do you think you could have done anything different strategy-wise to hit yourself on the front?
I maybe could have ran one more lap longer than Thomas. I was real close on fuel when I crossed the finish line. Had about 0.3 of a gallon left, so I was almost out. But maybe if I went one lap longer, had a little fresher tires than him at the end, but then I'd have to make up that gap too. So there's really no way of knowing. Like I said, I feel like we did all we could, and I'll take a top 3 for sure.
All right, that was Jeff Ward, your second place finisher, and Jeff, we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks guys.
I think we were right about the fuel thing. It was very close on fuel.
Yep,
Like
indeed,
you
it
said,
was
he was
very
only
close on
3
fuel.
left.
But I'm sure, I'm not sure about what happened to Thomas as far as fuel, but I do know one thing, and you finally did it. You finally got the win.
Yeah, finally. As for fuel, though, I ran out while I was doing my burnouts on the front stretch, but
knew
That's what he said.
it was enough, so it didn't matter. Finally, that's all I care about. I didn't care about stage points or anything. Just wanted to win. That was it.
Yeah,
Got it done.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I believe this is your first. I'm pretty sure this is your first win in the Fuel Cup Series. I'm mistaken.
Unfortunately, it is. It should have been sooner. There's a lot of races that I could have won, would have won, and should have won, and didn't from either my own fault or just things not working out. But finally got one. I'm kind of bummed it's on a road course, not an oval, but I couldn't care less at this point. Just I'm happy I finally got one. That's it.
Yeah, indeed, and especially considering you got a win just before the end of the finals. What does this do for your finals hopes? Does this give you a bit of a boost of momentum going to ISM and Homestead?
I suppose I'm not. I mean, I don't really know how I'm going to stack up the next 2 weeks, anyways. But I think it's a lot. I think it takes some stress away because even if I don't win the whole thing, I just wanted to win a race before this thing was over because I haven't won a race on iRacing period since January. I don't know the last league race that I won, and it's been pretty disappointing a lot of times. Especially like last season, I thought there were a couple races I really should have won and didn't. And kind of was wondering if I was actually going to be able to win again, and was getting pretty disappointed. But I'm glad it finally happened, and I got good teammates that we all keep each other motivated. Tyler did a really good job. I know he spun out early, but he did a heck of a job rallying back and finishing 11th, I think. And Casey wasn't here tonight, but we stick together and keep the rest of us going. So I got to thank them for that. And just it's a stress reliever more than anything. I'm just happy we finally got one more than anything.
Well, you finally did it. Finally got the win, and Thomas, will see you next week or in 2 weeks' time at ISM. Good luck there.
Thanks a lot.
All right, and with that, that'll round out and finish up our interviews for tonight. And we'll say probably not the most action-packed race at Watkins Glen, but definitely managed to put on a show here and there, especially some guys getting very creative with passing.
It was very fun to watch everyone struggle with the old tires. Seemed like everyone couldn't really throttle it up out of any of these turns. So many people slipping and sliding. And it made for a decent race. It was going to be an especially fun race for the win between those three, but obviously things don't work out sometimes. And it's definitely for Bressi. It's a big momentum push. I know he's kind of downplaying it a bit because he was just happy to win in general, but the last 2 races is definitely going to give him momentum to possibly make a charge for this championship. And we'll see. I don't know how the penalty points will happen, but right now he's got a big gap to Nick Cohen as it stands. I think, let's see, about 69 points ahead of Nicholas Cohen right now. And the top, Cohen and Pastorius are not in a good spot going in ISM, but we've seen crazier stuff happen, so that'll definitely be fun to watch.
Indeed, will be fun to watch. And speaking of the points today, it's pretty much been confirmed from what I can see, unless the penalties are due to anyone, that Colin Fambrough and Shane Ewing will be the drivers eliminated from this round of the playoffs. So unfortunately to them, they're gonna or their runs for the championship end here. But yeah, like as you said, it's gonna be Hayden Pastorius. I'm interested in seeing, because I would say out of the top 6, I think he's the outlier to me, in my opinion, compared to everyone else. Especially now that all of them have a win, with Bressi finally getting this one. Although Alec Martinez doesn't have a win in the series, we know he's a winning capable driver. It's pretty much a matter of time for him. So interested in seeing how Pastorius can do if he can punch his ticket to Homestead in 2 weeks' time at ISM. On that note, I think it's going to wrap up things here at Watkins Glen. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.